Yes, now I'm recording. So I'll tell you some general information about writing compositions, how to write a composition. And then secondly, I'll tell you how to read an article so you understand it deeply. I'll give you some basic tactics, but don't expect too much. We don't have a lot of time. I just wanna show you it's not how you read it. How you should read it is not like how you read it. Reading an article is very difficult. Writing a composition is very difficult. Writing a sentence is hell of a difficult. Everything in the world is so difficult, I think. So I just want to increase your awareness about it. So some of you may want to improve themselves in writing and reading more efficiently. Yes. So first, I'll talk about paragraph because you need to write paragraphs in briefs, and paragraph must have a structure. Without a structure, paragraphs will not be understood clearly. So what kind of a structure do we have in a paragraph? Anyone wants to contribute? Just tell me. For example, like a topic sentence. What is a topic sentence? Anyone wants to tell?
It's usually a sentence at either the beginning or the end, depends on what kind of article you're writing, to summarize your point, whatever you're trying to accomplish. What are you trying to say from this paragraph that you're writing?
I think we should say topic sentence, at least for scientific articles, should be in the first sentence.
Yeah, usually in scientific articles, it's in the first, but sometimes in some form of literature, it's usually at the end. But it's whatever you're trying to say, like it's the main thing.
I think we shouldn't say it's the main message or the paragraph. We should say it is about what the paragraph is. So we can.
I mean, yeah, I guess like that. Yeah, kind of whatever.
Because the main message then will go to another sentence. That's why I wanted to differentiate these two. So if I ask you, what is this paragraph about? Okay. This paragraph, it's a long paragraph. What is it about? Any idea? How can you know?
It kind of summarizes. It summarizes the ideas that they divided in those in the titles, the carbon and the signaling, sugar signaling. The summarization of the whole article, I guess.
What are you telling me now?
We are talking about the introduction, right? You asked about the introduction. What does it say?
No, I'm talking about. Sorry, you don't see my screen, right? Do you see my screen?
Yes, we see.
You see. Okay.
Yes, we see.
So
when you said the whole paragraph, I thought that you're talking about the introduction paragraph. I'm sorry.
No. So I'm talking about this paragraph. This is a paragraph until here. And I'm asking you, what is the paragraph about? You know, you're gonna read something, a large piece. And if you don't know what is it about, before you start reading it, you have a problem. You need to spend time by finding out what is it about.
Hocam, can I say something?
Yes, Deniz.
Yes. For example, there's a citations in the platform that we use in our school, but they are very distracting to me because there is lots of citations, and I just wonder in this kind of articles using MLD can be I think very good because it distracts the reader. What you suggest to do as, for example, in future we are writing this kind of thing? And
Sorry, Deniz, do you mean this kind of citation?
evet. They are sometimes too long when I'm scanning to turn back and try to understand something. It's very distracts me.
Okay. I'll come to that. So the
Okay, thank
question
you.
now is, I'm trying to tell you, you need to know what you are reading is about before you read it. Just think about, you have a meeting. Before going to the meeting, you know what the meeting is about. If you don't know what is it about, I think you cannot enter in the conversation as fast as possible. You cannot make a pre-thinking and so on. So it's the same for reading, and we have the topic, the title, which can help us. But the title is about all the paragraphs, right? So we have an idea what this paragraph might be about. It might be about carbon balance, diurnal rhythms. There are some possibilities, okay. But we don't exactly know what it is about. But from the first sentence, we now understand we should understand what it is about, because the first sentence is the topic sentence. Let's read it. It's well established that although photosynthetic carbon assimilation occurs only in the light, growth and maintenance processes requiring carbon occur throughout the day-night cycle. So this paragraph, I think, from just reading this sentence, I can understand it's about how photosynthetic carbon assimilations occur in the light. There must be some information about it. There must be some information about growth. There must be some information about maintenance processes and how they are combined. And nothing else. This whole big paragraph must be about this, but nothing else. Why I'm telling you this? Because you need to write a in brief, and in your in brief, your paragraph must contain nothing else than what your topic sentence has. It must be focused, and there should be no irrelevant things. That is not in your topic. It's not related to your topic sentence. For example, if you read the second paragraph's topic sentence, the apparently simple pattern of carbon assimilation, storage, and utilization over 24 hours hides a wealth of complex and subtle flexibility and control. Look, this is completely different paragraph. It's only about this complex interaction and control. So this tells us what is how light growth and maintenance things happen, and this tells us how they are controlled. You cannot put any sentence here about the control, because the control thing is in the second paragraph. They must be differentiated very strictly. Otherwise, it's a mistake. Then it's not logical. In logic, you have to talk about a topic in deep and very relevant sentences, and then talk about next thing. Third topic sentence. Let's see what the third paragraph is about. And maybe we can ask someone, right? What is the function of finely tuned pattern of assimilation, storage, and utilization? What do you think this paragraph is about? Can anyone volunteer?
I can, I think.
Please.
It is mainly saying that the reason why the plants are doing this carbon cycle thing, why they are doing this.
How it is advantageous to the plant.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah, it must talk about evolution for sure. It must talk about how it gives advantages. If you talk about advantages here, just one sentence, like if you say having this amount of hours synthesizing sugars is advantageous, for example, then it's wrong. you cannot say anything about it being the advantages here. Also, you cannot say anything about disadvantages. I mean, this advantage, disadvantage should go there. Okay. Did you get the point? And do you find it interesting? Or is it very simple?
I didn't know this method. It's actually really good.
Yeah, okay, good. So I think it's extremely important. And people who are writing the articles, you know, for them, it's very important. I mean, this is how they write, the good people write. So I expect from you the same. If you have any sentence in one paragraph that should belong to another paragraph, then I'll write you it's illogical. Okay, you should talk about something when it is time to talk about it. What about the end sentence? Every paragraph must end with an end sentence. Any idea what an end sentence is? How should it be?
It
I think
gives
it
some.
summarizes the whole.
I'm sorry.
Yes, Dilara.
It gives some brief information about what's coming next.
Yes, good idea. Any other possibility?
I thought it summarizes the whole paragraphs.
Both of you are correct. So we have two options. As far as I know, we don't have three options. We only have two options. You either summarize the paragraph and make a conclusion maybe, or you make a transition to the next paragraph. There is no other option. So when you write your in brief, if you write me a end sentence, sorry, yes, ending sentence, like if you end with this sentence, then I will tell you, no, there is no proper end sentence here. Let's look to some of the end sentences. Because far less is known about fructan and sucrose storing leaves than starch storing leaves, this review concentrates on the latter, focusing largely on Arabidopsis.
Can I ask you something?
Yes.
How many pages should we write in brief article?
How many pages should we read?
Right.
Right.
Yes, in brief article when
Okay.
we upload it.
Just
How many pages should it be?
okay. So I noted down your questions. So first one is about citation. The other one is how many pages we should write. Why do not answer your questions right now? It's just like writing a paragraph. Now I'm talking about something else and I should not divert myself. Please, if your question is not relevant to what I'm talking about, just save your question for later.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So here we have this end sentence, but I think it doesn't fit to what I told you, right? Maybe the end sentence in this case is here. In many grasses, for example, photosynthetic organisms, they produce for both sucrose for export and sucrose for fructans that are stored in the vacuoles of leaf cells during the day.
Actually, hocam, why not? For me, it fits the first pattern. The last sentence fits the first pattern because far less is known about fructant and sucrose storing leaves than starch storing leaves. This review concentrates on the latter, focusing largely on Arabidopsis, meaning that it makes a transition, like you said, like the whole, like the pathway to the whole article, I think.
Okay. And I think it says now from now on, it'll be only about Arabidopsis. I think there are some, these are general things.
Yes, hocam, absolutely.
Like many other, now, like many other plant species, now it narrowed down and make a transition. Yes, but I would expect a little bit more maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, these are the rules, but when you're an expert, you can always override the rules. But if you're like the new learners, you cannot, you know. So let's look to this paragraph's last sentence. This indicates that faster growing genotypes operate in a loss conservative manner. The assimilation into sucrose and retain less as starch to act as reserve. Yes. Okay. Which sentence does it fit among two options?
I think the second one, it summarizes the whole thing.
Yes. I think so. It gives a conclusion, but at the same time,
Hocam, it actually, in that paragraph, there are 4 things that it talks about, but it only gives the summary to the 4th one that it talks about, not the other 3.
the retained less as starch to reserve. So you said it will continue with this part? No, with this part? Sorry, I didn't understand your comment.
Hocam, there are 4 things that it talks about in this paragraph.
Okay.
And it only explains the 4th one, which is the something related with faster plants.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry.
I see. So maybe this guy doesn't use the end sentences very properly for the paragraphs. It's also possible. Yeah, he's very good and he can do anything. Let's see here. Let's see reduction in carbon levels of light and carbon display. Yeah, I think these are not proper paragraph ending sentences.
Yeah, hocam. I mean, is it suitable to use, for example, a phrase in the last sentence of the paragraph? I mean, it should be a punchline rather than like, for example, such
Give me an
as.
example. Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay.
In the succeeding, we will concentrate. Yeah, he only did it here. He made a transition here in the last sentence.
I think he followed a manner in parts, not in paragraphs. Like in the parts that he's changing the topic. There is an end sentence about finishing the topic.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, one thing is, I mean, he didn't use these last sentences properly. Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, you should use it, okay? Just with this new way of looking, look at the scientific articles and look at the last sentences, and then you will see most of the time what I told you. Okay, anything else? If not, I'll move to another topic, mind mapping. Any questions, anything? Okay, so we need to talk about one thing in one paragraph I told you, and then the best way to determine what you are gonna talk about is making a mind map. So what's a mind map? So for example, this is a mind map program. Here we can put our ideas with hierarchies. So here is a central topic. In your in brief, I think what you should do is like here the central topic should be like plants control carbon balance by sensing light. for example, in your in brief, this is the main topic, okay? And then you need to divide it to, so this is the title, and you need to divide your title into paragraphs, and these paragraphs will be like main topics. Each paragraph should be about one thing. Like, for example, this guy who wrote this article, he wrote here, general carbon light interaction. Okay, he said, in this paragraph, I'm going to talk about this. And then he divided it to subtopics. Like he thought, I'll start talking about yeah, day and night production, for example. And then he wrote maybe like, give example from all crops. Okay, I mean, you need to plan it. This guy, before writing this, he had something like this, I'm sure. Otherwise, he cannot write it. Otherwise, you cannot know beforehand where your sentences, which paragraph your sentences should be in. So you determine the paragraphs, what's it about? Second paragraph is about this graph, about control. And then in this control, then he writes like, what's he gonna mention, you know? Like no genetics, general. He take notes like this, and then third paragraph and so on. So this is how you plan it. I use a program for it called Xmind. You can download Xmind. It's for free, but you can also use online tools for mind mapping. Why is it important? Because by mind mapping, you see the hierarchies between the topics, and you can, it's like a navigator for yourself. If you forget to mention about anything, you'll see immediately when you look at the program. So I use mind mapping tools all the time, and learning centers recommend using mind mapping tools to students. We are, as humans, very well adapted seeing things in a graphical way. So we should use graphics as much as possible. So my advice to you before writing your in brief, use a mind mapping tool. Otherwise, you learn about what you're gonna say while you're writing it, which is very bad for you. Then it's not, your thoughts will not be well organized. Any questions? Okay. Third thing, in brief, you need to talk short, but there are a lot of information. So what you should do is you just like take some information, just not say like, I'll write 4 paragraphs, and then what are you gonna focus on these paragraphs? There will be a lot of things that will be left out, but what you should do is really focus on something. It's, nobody will criticize you what you didn't tell us. People will criticize you when you tell something, if you tell it deeply or not. So I want you to tell something deeply and understandable. Choose paragraphs that should go deep. Don't only use the information from this article, maybe do external research. So you make what this article says in one paragraph, for example, more understandable. Maybe provide more examples related to also other plants that they didn't discuss, maybe. Okay, so it should be deep. It shouldn't be superficial.
Hocam,
Can I ask
if,
you something? Oh,
Yes.
sorry.
Yes, please.
Sorry.
Please.
Yes. But
Can we add our interpretations, or should we add more evidences from other articles to enrich the article?
good question. I think you are allowed to add interpretations of yourself. But the question is, where should you interpret? They must go to the end, very end, the last sentences. I mean, you always must talk about interpretations in the very end. So the order is first the results part in also the scientific articles. We tell the results first, and then we tell the discussions. There is a reason for that. So you need to first tell the I forgot the word, data. You have to tell the data to us, and then your interpretations. And then if you have like personal interpretations, tell it really at the end. Don't mix up. If
Okay,
you
thank you.
mix it up, it will be very confusing. Good question. Thanks. Thanks for the relevant question. Yes. Okay, and before moving to how you should read the article, just one last thing. If you so Dennis, you said you started the article and it was difficult later on, right? Dennis. Okay. Anyway, yes. So the
Yes,
thing,
hocam. My microphone was closed.
okay. So Dennis, was it easy to read at first?
At first, it was very easy, actually, but after a while,
Yeah.
I just distracted and tried to, yani, everything came to me like a repetitive things.
Yeah.
Or I just understand the main idea from the article, and just the rest that they don't, the sentence that I don't understand,
Okay.
and some
So-
technical words.
Yes. I get it. So the question is, why is the first part of the article is easier than the rest? Any idea? Is it on purpose, or is there another person maybe wrote the first part than the rest?
On purpose.
Maybe
Usually, the first part of the article is as general as you can be, and then you slowly but surely funnel the information to the thing that you want to tell. Because if you just lay the information you want, lay the discovery or whatever thing that you've like undiscovered or like found in the study, if you just lay it on the audience like a brick in the first sentence, it will fly over their heads. So you need to take them through the same discovery journey that you went through to reach the final conclusion.
Yes, exactly. So everyone starts with keeping in mind the basic audience. So they write very understandable. And the reason is they want the people to start reading. It's very difficult to take people into the writing. If you are writing a poem or if you are writing a like novel, I think it should have the same logic. I'm not sure about this anyway. So for scientific articles, for sure, the beginnings are more understandable. You want to catch the people, catch the reader. You don't want to intimidate, gözünü korkutmak, the reader by telling the data for at the first point or at the first place. Okay. So that's why we have more general things, and that's why we have the abstracts at the beginning. Abstracts are more understandable, less details, so people read it easier. Most of the people, 95% of the people, just read the abstracts. Yeah, that's why. So you start with more basic language and then you start giving more details. So if you had come to other parts, you would see there are a lot of names of genes and compounds and so on. So it would have been really complicated later on. So it should be also maybe in your brief that the first paragraph maybe is like more for more general audience to capture the attention of the readers. Don't start with the data immediately, or you can start, but make it simple. Deepen later. Okay, so this is the tactic you should follow. Good. Now, before moving how to read it efficiently, I'll answer your questions. So about the citations, yes, Deniz, I think I agree with you. For me, it was also very difficult to follow up. So the thing,
For MLD and
so it's better
you are
numbers, I think.
yes, with numbers like Bill can't use.
Yeah, but many journals they do this, and you know some authors they put these references just after a word, not at the end of the sentence. I also don't like it. My professor didn't like it as well.
Thank you, hocam.
It's really disturbing. I agree. About how many pages you should write, it depends on you. Please read the example in briefs. I sent you a link about it, and just imitate those ones.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry for the inconvenience of the question during the lecture.
No, don't be sorry. It was great contribution so that I can show people how you should ask the questions. It served as a good example to us, I think. Yes. So how to read the article? Okay, reading is very difficult, and you have no idea how to read anything. So here I can show you a book, how to read a book. Written 50 years ago. It's a classic. I haven't read it, unfortunately. I'm also learning right now how to read anything. Yes, I'll give you just some brief things about how to read article so that you understand deeply. So I'll tell about two strategies. One, you ask questions all the time. A lot of questions while you're reading. So let's try. Let's start from here. Carbon is available at night because the rate of assimilation in the light is sufficient to support not only the immediate demand for growth, but also the accumulation of storage compounds in the leaf, which are then mobilized to provide carbon for growth during the night. Okay, so when I read this sentence, some questions appeared in my mind. Just a second. At night, because the rate of assimilation in the light. Okay, let's give 10 minutes break first and then come back at 40 past. Okay, 42. We meet 42 past, and it will be short. Okay, see you.